Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is Heather Dunlop from Thriving Woman. And what I want to share with you today is how to ditch self sabotage. So, before we can talk about how to ditch it, we got to first figure out why it comes about. So, the reason we sabotage is because there's some beliefs in our brain stored back there, probably pretty deep, that say you can't do that. You're not worthy. You don't know how. You're not good enough. What makes you think that you can do this, have this, be this? So, what we have to do in order to ditch that self sabotage that will typically come up when we're just about to get that thing we want, right? Just as we're about to grasp it, boom, we sabotage ourselves. And it's not from anything external. It's just we stop ourselves and we don't just slow down. We stop and like practically lay down and give it all up. And it's usually right before we're about to have that thing. So, why does self sabotage come about? It's from our old beliefs that are in our brains. And they run on the autopilot. They're just automatically, we've done them so often in the past, and we believed it so deeply that our brain said, yep, this is who we are. This is what we do. We are a self sabotager. So, how do we stop that? We have to create a new belief. We have to create a new automation, something new on autopilot, while at the same time removing that old unwanted belief. To remove that old unwanted belief, we need to first be able to identify it so that we can remove it. Because once we know what it is, we know how to remove it. And then we use the reverse steps to actually create a new belief. So we say, this is what I want to do. And then we start telling ourselves all the time, and we rewire our brains. We rewire the synapses so that they connect, and that new belief becomes so cemented that it cannot be fallen apart, right? So the old belief, it's in there. It's really tight. It's stuck. It's cemented. It's so deep. And we want to take that and start to loosen those connections and start to pull it apart so that now that thought cannot make that jump any longer. We want to pull it further and further because the brain requires more energy to make the jump than it does to do something that's cemented and automated. So we want to take that old belief that's hurting us, that's stopping us, that's sabotaging us, and break that connection, break this, loosen it, start to pull it apart. And at the same time, we're taking a new belief and we're bringing it closer and closer and closer and closer together, and we're cementing that one so that it becomes implanted. So here's the key. We always hear, oh, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. It actually takes longer than that. It takes about 3 times as long, if not a little bit longer. It could take 67, 68, 69, 70 days to create a new habit, to create a new automation and make that a permanent connection in our brain. Well, actually, I shouldn't say permanent because if we can pull it apart, the old beliefs we don't want, we can also end up doing that to the ones that we do want if we don't support them. So take that old belief and pull it apart. Create the new belief. At 21 days, you have to keep going because that's when the connections between the old one and the new one are about the same. They're just about as strong as each other. And if you stop at 21 days, that old one that might be like this is going to cement back together. Why? Because your brain knows it's familiar. Your brain sees it as safe. So it's going to reconnect and cement it. And it's actually probably going to make it even stronger than it was before. So that's why we need to continue to pull that apart for more than 60 days, 70 days, keep going. And at the same time, we're going to take that new connection because at 21 days, it's starting to touch. It's making it a little easier for our brain and our thoughts to make that connection, that new jump, but it hasn't cemented together yet. We want to fuse it together so it's really strong. And that happens from 21 to 67, 68, 69, 70 days. So keep going. So, how do we ditch self sabotage? We remove that old belief and we implant that new automation, the belief that we want to happen, that brings about what we want in our lives. So, remove the old, create the new, right? And it might sound easier than it actually is. It takes effort, it takes time. And here's the great thing, When you put in the effort to reach your vision, it will be worth it. You have to hold on and remember your vision is who you are and what you want. And don't allow those old beliefs to sabotage you and cut you off, because your vision is important. So we need to prioritize it. So if you're ready to ditch self sabotage and you want to take this a little bit deeper with me, we can go into much more detail. Hop on a free 15-minute call with me. Just schedule it on the link. It's in the comments below. And let's get together and take this a level deeper. And let's do a free 15-minute coaching call to help you get to your life, the life you want to live, to the vision life that you have for yourself. And let's ditch self sabotage. This is Heather Dunlop. Always remember, you have strength within you.